Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully updated our student list, so that is our view, and now all that our information is visible, and also I created that relation between three of this table, right? And also I get this data. So now I want to work for our this search option. That means here I have already created one of the year field, the classes field, and that is our search that is in our view. So first of all we have to go to our view page, and with the view page here there is a migration, we don't need this. So into the view page if you go, so that is our main div, and with the div area that is our search, that is our year search option, that is our class search option, and that is our submit, right? So into the submit also I have to take one of the form, so that is our form, right? So that is actually our form is started. Our form is started from here, so that is our form. So now into the form area I want to go into method. Our method will be as a get method because I want to get this data, and our action here we have to add one of the route for this one. I name that route. Our route will be as a whatever you choose. I get as a two of this data, right? I get that as a year and the class, but I want to do and name it as a student year, and then class wise data. Okay, so I name it as a student year and class wise. So that will be our route. So now we have to create this route. Now go to our web route, and into the web route I want to do and to copy it. That will be one of the get method. I added that as a get method, and then I name this route. Our route will be the student year wise data. I copy it, and then that will be the student year wise data. I name it as a students, our prefix, and then year, and then class, and then I also make it as a wise. Okay, that means year class wise. And then in our student registration controller I want to create one of the method as a student year, or I name it as a better as a class, and then year wise. Okay, student, class, and year wise. This type of one of the method I want to create in our student registration controller. Now go to our student registration controller, and better after this. Okay, after this I want to create it. So that will be just like that same. I show you it will be as a public, and then function, and then our method. So that will be our method. And from here I get this data from to the database. So we have to get that request, because of all from this position I have already passed that our name, right? So with this we have to get that or all that requested data. So I want to do and to make that as a request, and then our dollar request, right? So that will be as a dollar request, and after that will be just like that same. Okay, it should be just like that same. I copy everything from our student registration view. I copy it, and here I paste it. Okay friend, I get all that our data. That means all that our year student year data. I get all that our student class data, and then the year ID, and this year ID will be our requested ID. So that is our requested field name as a year, right? So now I want to do that will be our requested one. So right now we don't need this. It will be as a request, and our requested name as year ID. Okay, so that will be our this requested year ID, and same that will be our class. I paste it. So that will be our requested another field as a class ID, right? So I copy it. That will be our this class ID. Okay, so now we don't need this. And then our data, all data, with this all data in our assign table, same condition where our ID. Okay, that means in our assign student table year ID field will be matched with our this requested ID. So now we have to only change it. So that will be our this requested ID. Okay, that means requested year ID, and same as our where condition, our class ID. That means in our assign student table if you go, that is our assign student table, there is a class ID and the year ID, right? So that is our class ID when it will be matched with our requested ID. That means whatever the data you actually search it from here. So that is our requested ID. So now I want to add it. That will be same. That will be our where our class ID will be our this requested data. That means requested class ID, then I get this data. Okay, so I simply get it and then redirect to the same page, is student view. So that will be just like that same. Okay, so friend, that's all we have to do. I hope it's very much clear to you. So now go to our view, and with the view area I want to visible, right? So that is our search. So into the search area I also add one of the name, that means our search name. So I want to put this type of one of the condition. I want to actually set it. That means if you search any data, then it should be display our all the data, rather than it should be display our this one. Okay, so this type of one of the set condition I want to use. So I want to set it with this name. Okay, that means if you select as a this search, then it should be as a working, rather than it should be work with the default one. So our name, I name it as a search, and I visible our total table. That is actually our total table, right? So I want to do here, I want to set this our this search. So I better here before this table I want to add one of the if condition. I add one of the if condition, and into the if area, that will I want to is set. Okay, that means not is set our search. That means our field name, that is our search field name. If is set not search, then it should be display our this table. Okay, then it should be actually the same. That means this table, and else I add that another else at the rate else, and then I want to do and to end it as a and if condition. Okay, I hope it's very much clear to friend. When is not will be as a not search, then our this data, that means this table will be same. So that is actually our table will be same, and else it should be display our search result. Okay, so for the search result, better I copy the same. I copy the same table. And after this each condition, I simply paste it again. Okay, I simply paste it on here. That is else our this one. So that is our and if. Perfect. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Okay, so that if this not search, then it should be display our first table. Okay, then it should be display our first table. So that is our total first table. Else it will be display our all that search result table. So that is will be our search result table with the same format, right? And our everything will be same. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, I click as a save all. Now go there, click as a refresh. If everything okay, it should be work. So that is our default one, right? Default one means I have already added all that are descending data. That means our last year and our last class data on one data ID data is visible. So now I want to do and to search it. I want to search it to the 2020, and I choose one of the class one. If there have any result, it should be display on here. Now click as a search. Yes, you can see friend, it's now perfectly getting the data, and you can see that is our class wise data with our year ID as a 3 and then class ID as a 1, and then is set. I have already set it, and then I search that data, and you can see it's now perfectly display all that our data. Okay, so for the reasons here I actually added this part. Okay, I added this part. First of all, else it will be display all that our search result. So that is our search result with the same table format. Now you can see it's visible. Okay, so that is our name, and that is a name is visible, ID is visible, role I didn't add it, so I will do that things later. Year is visible, and you can see it's now perfectly getting our year. That means all the 2020 and class 1, right? Perfect. And also if you add that as a 20 and class 2, click as a search. If they have any data, yes, you can see they have the 2 data. There is a 2020 and class 2. Perfectly is now getting 2 data. If you click as a 3, yeah, there is the 3. There is the 2 data, and perfectly getting this data. If you make that as a 2018 data, you can see they have no data. For the reason it's not showing as a no data available in table. Okay, that means our total search option is working. You can see if you click as a 2019, click as a class 1, click as a search. Yeah, they have the 1 data as a 2019 and class 1, that is a 1 data as a this one. Okay, That means friend, it's perfectly now working. Okay, so how can do that work? I hope you enjoyed very much and very much interactive one of the things I shared with you. So now you can search it, rather than it will be display as a default one. If you click as a refresh, and here you can see it's now perfectly getting our this same is set data. That means our search ID data, and the search ID is visible. But if you go to our again into the home page, and with the home page our default one is visible. Into the default one I have said our last year, last class, and last year class 1 row ID data is visible, and you can see it's visible. Okay friend, so now I want to do I want to complete that edit portion. If you want to edit it, and also if you want to display this total student details, I want to generate it with a specific one of the PDF, then it will be very much interactive, right? How can generate some of the PDF formatted, and how we can display your this student details with the PDF format. Step by step I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.